This is the role of media in reporting on sports betting. What is sports betting exactly? Sports betting is the act of wagering on the outcome of an event, referring to an individual or team-specific stat, point total, or overall performance. The evolution of sports betting dates all the way back to the first Olympic Games about 2,000 years ago in ancient Greece. By the Middle Ages, people began betting on horse races, although this was limited to mainly the rich folk. In the 18th century, horse betting was amplified with the establishment of betting shops. In 1920, the tote pool betting system was created, making sports betting far more accessible. And in the United States, the Federal Wire Act was implemented in 1950, banning the use of telephones to place bets, which really put a hold on sports betting until around the 90s when we saw a significant spike in sports betting with the gain of the internet. Now in 2018 was where everything changed when the United States Supreme Court declared the federal ban on sports betting to be unconstitutional, lifting the ban, and later engaging professional sports teams and organizations with offering sports betting into their series. Another fun fact about this is the UK Gambling Commission reported that online betting accounted for 37% of the overall betting market in 2018, which is a very significant increase from just 1% in 1998. Sports betting as an emerging issue. Since the Supreme Court federal ban was lifted, professional and collegiate leagues began permitting betting in sports. Now we can see here on the right side the market cap in 2018 when it first opened up. It was around $4 billion. And here, looking at 2023, we have an estimation of $200 million. Now that sits about $1 trillion. The economic impact is the potential for job creation. Now, a lot of people have been relying on sports betting, although researchers have shown that only about 3% of people are successful in this long term. Youth concerns, again, rising interest among young adults and the risks that come with that. Representation in sports media. We have the addiction. You can see on the right we have the sports announcers who are promoting, and then we have the consumers. The integrity of the sport. Many times avid supporters of these teams get irritated with the performance of their sports team, thinking that the games are rigged and that they're set up for the profit now versus the actual entertainment. There's neutral and there's opinionated. Positive framing emphasizes the economic benefits and entertainment value, which we know is very high. The negative framing highlights the risks like addiction and integrity issues, which are also very relevant. Framing techniques used by media outlets. We have the conflict framing, presenting the different viewpoints, which is a lot more comforting for viewers. The human interest stories. We have personal experiences, like people who have been banned for life for sports betting, which we'll get into. The statistical framing, using the data to illustrate trends and impacts, which is the most applicable form. We have very diverse perspectives in sports media. NFL player Teron Armstead said in an interview, "As an active player, I just stay away from betting," which obviously most would do. Platforms like ESPN prominently feature DraftKings in live broadcasts, influencing viewers' perceptions of sports betting as socially accepted. Now we see the key figures in sports media coverage. Renowned figures in sports betting coverage include Adrian, one of NBA's biggest reporters on ESPN, which he recently retired in December. He is very notorious in covering sports betting in NBA. Jay Croucher is a betting analyst. Kelly Stewart, a sports betting expert who's featured across many of the data points. Reports on game fixing scandals. The main one we're going to cover here is Pete Rose, the MLB gambling controversies. Pete Rose was a MLB player as well as a MLB manager, and he was found that he fixed games as he was a part of the team, and he was banned from the MLB for life. Influence of news organizations. ESPN, leading sports network with extensive betting coverage and analysis. The Athletic, in-depth reporting and features on sports, betting trends, and impacts. The media's role. Platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok are huge contenders for people in the sports betting market. It's where they amplify. It's where their money comes from for promos such as Discords and exclusive memberships for people to follow their investments. The discussions around sports betting. We see here the ESPN Bet, as well as numerous other betting apps that are featured, such as Underdog, Prize Picks, etc. There are live discussions during the games. We're talking MLB games, tennis, you name it. It's the talk. Encouragement of sports gambling. We promote content for betting apps, featuring advertisements and promotional videos during the broadcasts again. The current effects on professional and amateur sports. There are multiple shifts in game strategies and player performance analytics influenced by these trends and data. We've seen a huge spike in return, and all of these games the stats are just getting crazier. The changes in the policies and the regulations. The NCAA has adopted new rules to provide money to their athletes in different ways. Professional leagues, same thing. They're having to implement these new laws. In the NFL, they have 2 mandatory meetings per year to discuss these sports betting topics. Future implications. Now we see that it's only going up. We are seeing a transcending sports betting market scaling at 2.6% per year. It's increased collaboration between any company you could think of, any sports network. You're going to see sports betting on there. It's going to be broadcasted. Sports betting coverage presents a dual narrative. It offers exciting engagement and revenue opportunities while posing risks related to addiction and integrity in sports. Sports media plays a critical role in shaping public perception of betting, emphasizing the importance of ethical standards and coverage. As the intersection of sports media and betting continues to grow, our collective responsibility is to navigate these developments thoughtfully